Dubai Tech Talks is a community where we connect technology experts with the entrepreneurs. We have monthly events like we invite industrial experts to talk about the latest technology trends and challenges, and they discuss about the case studies, and it is mainly knowledge sharing and networking.
Hey guys, thanks for coming in. People have been asking, what does this logo mean? Why are you wearing the same black t-shirts? This stands for Headstart. We believe in building the community. What does Headstart do? Thank you so much, Avneet. Okay, we are a community org. We are voluntary organizations. We have been running it for a few years in India. All these numbers speaks for itself. We are massive in India. In India, organization being massive is not that easy. We are massive in India. We have 20,000 plus startups which we have worked in the last few years, and we are spreading our wings. We are trying to go global. Finland, Germany, USA. Dubai is our next chapter which we're going to be keenly focusing on. I'm Ashwin. My day job is I take care of sales for Zoho. Previous to that, Freshworks, WebEngage, yeah, B2B SaaS.
Why does a foundation run an innovation program? Like why? Like that's the, we normally give funds to NGOs to do things. Why innovation program?
Thank you for having me here first. I think I'm so glad to be part of this community because everybody shares the same interest. And just to answer your question, the main reason why I have done it at Marico is because of their corporate social responsibility. Every corporate has to follow that, and we decided instead of giving the money to others to do it for us, we thought we'll do it better. So that's why we decided to do it in-house. We have nurtured more than 50 plus startups, all in impact ecosystem. They can be from agri, health tech, plastic, sustainability, and we take a lot of pride in that as well because the value that we were able to drive, we don't see others do the same thing, right?
A lot of CSR funds are now slowly going towards these innovation-led activities, right? One of the basic issues that we had with CSR, while across governments there's a mandate of investing that money for social good, but that's not sustainable in itself, right? An NGO is not able to survive without CSR funds, and that is basically the unsustainable way itself. The Sumit, you working with startups for like N of years. I think you are like one of those guys who's corporate but who's startup guy always, and been part of so many programs as mentors, right? Would love to hear your views on what is the real intent of corporates doing this, and how are they actually adding value?
That's a very interesting question actually. So one of the amazing analogies that my professor at Harvard Business School gives is that startups and the large corporates, you look at it this way, that you have a big, you have a giant ship and you want to steer it, and the startups are these really small tiny boats on the side. So they can really move fast, they can steer, they can navigate the landscape, but it takes time to really navigate that big ship and the cruise ship to turn. So what you do is that you make these smaller ships to go out in the market, test and see if there is validation, what we often call as product market fit in my world, so to say. I'm a product guy essentially. So I look at growth and those kind of things. But essentially that's the idea. Doing a validation of an idea at a corporate level wherein there are so many gates, right? As against that, you make a small fund, probably give a different name to it, let people really run wild with it, see if there is enough value in it, and once they grow, then absorb them into the. That's what happened with ChatGPT, right?
Yes.
So so now that ChatGPT is kind of proven, we are bringing them back into PowerPoint, inside of Teams, inside of Viva and things like that. But imagine building that something inside Microsoft. Oh my God, that's not possible. So
that shows how corporates are actually working with startups. They give them the freedom, the space to work, but as soon as they're able to prove it, you see Microsoft as the first corporate to quickly embrace ChatGPT on all their products, right? And it's not happening right now. It has been happening for a while. It's just that we get to see it right away. But that's how corporates are actually investing in startups. So as a very innovative venture, as a venture of building strong tech, right? Sometimes it's very difficult to build that same solution for corporates. Majority of corporates were actually startups, right? They have done that journey, but with the momentum building, with the mass building, it's not easy. Like you mentioned, the entire ship analogy over there, and that's why these small boats become an amazing way to actually test, validate, and then collaborate on that part. Satish, over to you. You come from that entire background of first leading innovation at Emirates. Let's first go there, right? How is the culture of driving innovation in this ecosystem, in UAE ecosystem? What are some of the top challenges that corporates are facing, and how are they, seeing startups? To be honest.
Hi again. I would like to add one point to what Sumit said. All this innovation labs and all the innovation process, it came into enterprise approximately during 2008. That's when so many startups came and they started disrupting the big guys. The Fortune 500 table, if you guys remember, it was completely shattered after 2008. So many guys went out of business. That's when the big guys, the big enterprises and corporates started thinking that should we wait for somebody to come and disrupt us, or should we disrupt ourselves? So immediately 5 to 6% of the budgets were allocated for innovation. So there was a time from 2012 to 2016, almost all the organizations started setting up innovation lab. Okay, so that's how I came into existence in innovation lab. So I was a software engineer, and from there moved on, and this was catching up. So internally they started picking up people who were slightly different. Okay, you can even call them as crackpots. So instead of doing the 7 to 3:30 job, somebody who is excited about his job, passionate about technology, those guys were picked up and they were put in innovation lab, and that's how they started disrupting themselves. This created a syndrome called as not invented here syndrome. So within a big organization, there are multiple departments. Each department is almost like a company. And if one department, which is called as innovation lab and has the nice title, and they can go out, they can talk, they can partner with anybody without following the organization's rules. And when they try to introduce something to the organization, the other departments, they kind of, it was not invented here. That idea didn't come from my department. Kind of a thought process was there for some time. But later, if you notice, post 2016, product-led growth started a lot. People moved out from sales-led growth and they started doing product-led growth. And most of the product, even Olga is working on product-led growth, and I'm also working on product-led growth. And most of the product-led growth happened just because of disruptive innovation. And those disruptive innovation, they figured out that it is not coming from inside. So that's when all the innovation labs were kind of dissolved, and they opened up ecosystems, so where outside startups can come and, it can work with the big enterprise, and that is working so far really, really well. Microsoft is a very big example for that, and IBM has been acquiring startups left, right, and center, and about, of course, Google. I think every day they will be acquiring some 4-5 guys, for some good. So that's how the innovation has been disrupted. And the challenges, apart from that syndrome of not invented here, he gave a very good analogy. A big ship being steered by a small ship, that's not easy at all. So organizations, they live with huge enterprise architecture. The enterprise architecture has to follow ISOs and many things, data architecture and things like that. It's not easy to suddenly bring a startup, bring a tech, and integrate into Microsoft. I'm sure they would have been planning for this for ages.
Olga, to you, right? As a founder, building a solution, B2B, product-led growth, coming new in this ecosystem, right? Without the support of, let's say, an In5 or Founders Hub, right? How is the life for founder there?
I'm really grateful for In5, for Founders Hub, and all other corporate responsibility companies that helping startups. To be honest, when I was doing a research last year to figure out how I may incorporate, what should I do, how much does it cost? And In5 was the most affordable way when you are not earning anything and you need just to set up a company to prove does your business model works. And when you go, for example, to ADGM, they telling to you, okay, you need to hire the director and you need to rent for this director specifically at Al Mariam Island, a specific place. And when I calculated how much it cost, so on Al Mariam Island, you may rent a place per day to your director, at least 130 dirhams. So you need to dedicate each day, working day of renting, to have a license itself. And it's impossible to the startup, even inside of the program of supporting startups, to set up a startup there. You should be a kind of seed company or maybe company that's shifting to Series A, because as soon as you have 4 directors, multiply on 4. And at In5, you can pitch only with an idea. You may say that, like, I'm not earning anything, I have an idea, and they're telling to you, okay, pay for the office a year up front, license instead of 13,000 dirhams, only 1,000 dirhams, and go. You have a year to try. If you will earn nothing, then you will not extend your license. If you will earn something, at least you can extend 1 year more and try pushing yourself. And in case of Microsoft for Founders, it was very, very helpful to get at least Outlook and some messages and, for example, credits to OpenAI and credits to Azure to support our infrastructure. But the problem is from another side. Because when you're a startup, you may die next week. If you didn't confirm your hypothesis that week, next week you may die. In case of Microsoft, I'm not sure, is it allowed to say here, just my journey. It takes for me to get access to GPT-3, not 4, through the Azure from March till 16th of June. So I was telling to my customers, we will invent GPT-3 updates for your website in April. Because my developer said it's just 1 week development. I applied in March to to get that, and actually, was in really uncomfortable situation of not delivering just because it's very, very slow. There was a process when Microsoft was calling to me on the phone, just, you need to open account, and I'm opening. Oh, seems like you're not a partner. Let's make you a partner first. And this is bureaucracy that stops startups. It slows down. Till yet, I cannot apply my Azure credits because it applied on different accounts somehow, and I cannot measure that. And still, again, calls with the support. I don't have time to have a calls with the support. I need to deliver. So that's how you, as a founder, even if you have somewhere some available credits, you cannot use them. You're trying to find the simplest entry point as possible. And that's what actually everybody does. And if you are not so quick to onboard that startup, you may lose them. But maybe later on, as soon as they will grow, they will come back to you because you have more functions, more features. But when you're starting, you are in a hurry, you need something very, very quick. And yeah, this is what I've faced